Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a welcome to a brand new Let's Play on this channel. Like I said, we were gonna do another Medal of Honor game, and here we are with Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Now, we're still gonna continue with our, Pokemon Fire Red Let's Play, and I might even consider continuing on more Pokemon games like Heart Gold and Black. Or any other ones you guys suggest. I can and will adjust Pokemon games as you see fit or like. Um, well, right now, like I said, we were going to do Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
Challenge everything.
And I do believe this was the last of the Medal of Honor games I have ever played and owned. Apart from the first Medal of Honor, and Frontline, and Rising Sun. Since this game, there hasn't really been another Medal of Honor game. I think after this, I transitioned over to Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one.
Good morning, Honolulu. Looks like we're in store for another beautiful and serene December day.
Hey, Silas. My girl Benny sent me her picture yesterday. Oh, let me tell you about Rita Hayworth. Ain't got nothing on her.
So the history, if you guys don't know your history, that's December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Move it, you maggots! Move it! So topside, let's go on a double! Hurry up!
Alright, get topside, press start button to see your objectives. Sure, why not? Get topside. What do you know? It's right there in our face. As you can see, the game has changed from Medal of Honor Frontline and the first Medal of Honor as well as Underground. This is our start menu right here. Got your scores, preferences, Medal of Honor Sharpshooter, that's fire, that's action, change weapon, rogue grenade. Reload is on that one? I don't remember having reload on that button. Did we have reload on that button on the last game? Medal of Honor Classic. Oh boy. We'll stay with this and see how it feels. Fuck. Alright, whatever. Let's see, this is our bunk right here. Alright, so that's the duck. I don't already like that, so I need a... Oh my god, this is the thing about a lot of the Medal of Honor and Call of Duty games. Well, I'll say for most of the Medal of Honor games, the fucking controls change, and it is, I mean, X or the square buttons to duck. Are you out of your fucking mind? We need to change and fix that. Let me see. So, they're saying this one's action. So then what's aim? Where's aim? Move and aim mode. Aim mode is L2, so that means I hold this, I aim, and then I push around and I shoot. No, that's not going to work, because then that means I'm aiming, and then I let go, and then fire. Well, no, I mean, hold up, let me see. So I would aim, and then I would hold this to aim, and then I move these around to aim specifically where I want it, and then push over to fire. No, it would be better if it was like one of these buttons. What about classic variant? Alright, you know what? Let's try this. Alright, so what do I want to fire? And what do I want to aim? So let's see. Action, change weapon. What do I want? Fire, and what do I want? Aim. How about aim is U. And then how about grenade is U. Maybe. So that means I hold this to aim and aim around and then to reload, maybe that. And then let's change weapon. Okay, that's the jump. I don't know about that being crouch. Huh. That's melee. Maybe that. So we'll aim with this. We'll fire with this after we moved about and aim. Okay, and then that's to change weapons. This is for action. That's to throw grenades. This is to reload, which is just above the trigger, the fire button. Okay, I think I can work with that. Okay, let's see. The hell is this supposed to be? Maybe? I don't know. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, let's see how this works. Let's just go. I don't know what happened here.
It's only dust. Joe Griffin! Follow me, Marine. We need to get topside right now.
Alright, so we're Joe Griffin.
They're all over the place! They're all over the place!
Alright. I guess he went a long way around. Yep.
Come on, Mac, jump over. Watch it! Crouch under. Let's get out of here. Oh, damn the hatch! Give him hell!
Oh, we just did a bonus objective. That's what's up. Alright, cool. did another bonus objective. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm now remembering about the bonus objectives. They just come up at you. You'd have to figure out or imagine what they are. Help anyone and everyone out there.
Give me that thing!
Alright, so he's gonna deal with that.
Save us! Use the phone! Call headquarters!
Profile, yeah, it's gonna be Let's Play. Day of Infamy 1 message. Save. Okay.
That's Guy's fault!
He's either gonna give us the BAR or the shotgun. I think. I really don't remember, but I know we're gonna jump on one of those guys.
I'm on your plane, Marine! Now you step out of it! Step out of it! Take a target! Lead him in!
right thing? Hmm. Oh shit.
hold on. We're losing turret pressure. All right, boys. Let's get her up and running again. Radio's got A1. Valley, fix that thing. Oh my God! We've lost the Arizona! God help them. This can't be happening.
Yeah, so all right, so the boat that we're in, it's one of those PT boats. At least a version of it. I don't know if it's like the latest and greatest, but there were these boats that they had, which by the way, if I was to ever have enough money to purchase me a boat, I would go and get a fucking PT boat, because to me that is what a boat should look like and be, and that you could drive around and have fun. Unfortunately, because a PT boat is a PT boat, like most things in the military, it's probably going to ask for a lot of fucking fuel, but it's going to look amazing on the water, and it's definitely going to be an eye catcher for anyone out there. Naturally, of course, if I was to get one, it's going to have to be de-armed, demilitarized, and all that, and I would just put on fake stuff for show. Anyways, PT boats made famous with the by that movie. I forgot when it came out. I don't know when the movie came out. But the movie was called, I think, PT-109, which PT-109 was the boat that former President Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, had commanded. John F. Kennedy, if you didn't know, former president, I forgot which number president he was, but it was like when was he president? Was it like 67 or 69? Just maybe touching into 1970, 71, 72, something like that. I don't remember when the assassination was for him, but he was in the Navy. He was a naval commander. Lieutenant, was it, or lieutenant junior grade, or a captain? I don't remember. You can look up the history for it. I just know enough that he was in the Navy, and he was a PT boat commander. He had the boat PT-109. That boat was destroyed or lost, sunk and lost at sea, and I believe there were some deep sea scavengers or something that found the boat near where the boat had been scuttled or destroyed or whatever the thing is. But that was that what I'm getting at is this boat it looks like a PT boat, a PT-109 basically. It had torpedo tubes. It had a main chain gun, or defense 50 cal, 30 cal guns. I think it was 50. But it's a pretty good boat. It's a pretty good boat. You should look into what they are. Again, I'm not 100% on the accuracy of the history information I'm giving you, but I would probably say I'm giving you about 75 to 80% answer of a solution of, yeah, essentially it's a PT boat, and it does have the torpedo tubes. You can see them right there, actually, on the pause screen. If you look down to the left and right, those big tubes on the far side of the boats there, one on the left, one on the right, those would be the torpedo tubes that they shot to get rid of subs or boats out there. And then, of course, we're on the main chain guns, 50, I want to guess a 50 cal or something. It's definitely a big, strong gun. Some boats had a little bit more, some had a little bit less. Believe the boats were powered by 1 or 2 diesel engines or something. Pretty good boats. You wouldn't expect these boats to be deep out at sea. These would be boats that would be on the shorelines. And I believe they still kept using these boats well into Vietnam. But then I don't think they use them or have them anymore. But I think a fun fact, the Army has more boats than the Navy. And that's because the Navy has ships. The Army would deal in boats and all that. Now, apart from that, let's talk about a little bit of history here. So this was December 7th, 1941. The Empire of Japan at the time, forces of Japan there, they they made this strike against us. Now they had time to plan for this, but the point is, why did the war come about, right? Why did Japan get into this? Because this was 1941, right? World War II was a little bit before 1941. There was other nations already involved in World War II before the United States got involved. Now we got involved because of Japan doing this thing here back in December 7th, 1941. Before that, the United States was like very stout about, yeah, we are not going to get involved in World War II. We went through World War I, and we also joined World War I pretty late into the game. But we, at the time, I don't remember which president, I want to say was it Franklin Delano Roosevelt? That president at the time was like, we do not want to get involved. The U.S. doesn't like the idea of a war. I'm not going to do anything to push us into war. I mean, it's politics, but it's also a smart thing. If we just got out of one, you don't really want to jump back into one, because that's more money that's going to have to be sunk in, more lives, more men, boys, soldiers, whatever you want to call them, that has to get out there and potentially die, for a cause, for a country there. Now, the policy put in was like, yeah, we're not going to get in, but we will provide aid, kind of like a lend-lease, like we'll give you supplies, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. When World War II was kicking off and sides started being created, you had Germany up at the front that was like, hey, we went through World War I. Is bullshit what just happened to us. We're pushing for this because we got a shitty deal at the Treaty of Versailles, and or whatever it was, and like, yeah, we're not gonna stand by while these other countries are expecting money out of us and treat us like shit. This is bullshit, right? And then, of course, you had what was going on with the Jews, the Jewish people. I mean, freaking Holocaust. That's a terrible, disgusting way that what happened to them. But then sides started being drawn. Germany was like, hey, who wants to be on my side? Who wants to help out? Who feels like they got a shitty deal at the end of World War I? So for a brief time, Germany went to Russia and said, hey, do you like what happened? You want to join us? And they were like, you know what? Okay, cool. Now, of course, Russia obviously didn't join, obviously switched sides and said, yeah, no, we're not dealing with Germany. And then it ended up being the big three, right? You had UK, Russia, and the US against Germany. But then, I don't know if it was Germany that went to Japan or Japan that went to Germany. I want to say it was Japan that went to Germany and say, hey, we also didn't like what happened after World War I. We'll back you up. And like, oh, okay, cool. And of course, us, or not us, but the United States was like, all right, we're keeping an eye on things here. We don't like what war's going about. So the reason for Japan getting involved was because we had, I want to say, like an oil embargo on Japan, because they were depending on the United States for oil, for gasoline, you name it, stuff like that. And we were like, yeah, no, we're stopping this. We're not going to do this. And Japan was like, well, you can't do that. We need that. World War II for Japan, they started sending troops. The Navy helped out the Army, because there was two sides in Japan that were about the war. You had the ground forces and the Navy. Those were the two big ones. And I think the idea for Japan at the time was it's all pro Navy, and then the Army was like, oh, what about us? But it's some internal fighting going on. But the point is, for World War II, Japan started sending their troops up north into like the actual mainland, going well into China, right? And if you look up the little bit of history, you got like Manchukuo or something like that. I don't really remember the name, but Japan started causing trouble, pushing all the way up, and they had their little campaign going on over there. But then the United States was like, yeah, no more of this oil going to you guys. And then Japan's like, we need that. That is our lifeline. That is our bloodline, and you're not going to give it to us. And the United States was like, No. And again, I'm giving you the basic gist, the layman's basic gist understanding of history, because there's more into it. And I got books over here. I studied this stuff when I went to Kansas State. I really wish I could give you more in-depth information about this, because I really did love and enjoy history. So I feel pretty bad right now that I can't even give you the exact details. But man, essentially what it came down to was Japan was like, you can't do that, and then the United States like, well, we just did. We don't want to give you oil so that you can continue doing your thing. So for a very brief time, Japan was like, all right, what are we gonna do? And Japan was like, hey, how about we make oil and gasoline out of all these weird things, right? So for a time, they were actually trying to get oil out of trees. They were trying to get oil out of anything and everything. And then that's when they really realized, like, hey, this isn't going to work. It's an idea, but like if we can get oil out of trees or whatever, it's barely good enough to make any of our shit run. So then they came down to the brass tacks like, hey, what if we went to war with the US? They were the ones that cut the oil. We need that oil. What if we hit them hard, hit them fast to drive a point? Because if we can hit them hard, hit them fast to drive a point, we could hit them hard, hit them fast enough to stop whatever influence that they have over us, and maybe they might get us the oil, or maybe we can impose a big enough military, whether it's Army and or Navy, primarily Navy, so that we can flex our muscle and start getting oil down in the Philippines, down near maybe even towards Australia. They were coming up with these ideas, and then it ended up being like, hey, if we're gonna go to war with the U.S., you got to understand that they are a sleeping giant. They are not involved. They don't want to get involved in the war, but they are a sleeping giant. If we hit them, we got to make sure that giant stays down. Everyone's got a weak point. How are we going to hit them? And it came down to this: Pearl Harbor, where all the Navy was at. I mean, that was like one of the big naval stations for the U.S. They were like, hey, let's get rid of as many boats as we can. We'll get them while they're asleep. We'll come in. We'll do this. I believe there were some transmissions that was decoded and found, and I think not all of the U.S. Navy was at Pearl Harbor, if I remember this correctly, but just enough was there that, as you can see through this video game, and if you can read through history, it was pretty devastating. It was damn near early in the morning. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was in the morning, but they planned this out like to a T, because I think Japan knew they didn't have quite enough to sustain a big enough military. But they had enough tactics and mindset to say, hey, we can hit them like this. We can hit them hard, hit them fast. It'll be devastating. They're not going to want to get involved. The mistake that they made, however, was not realizing the industrial strength that the United States has, or had then, let alone have today. But today doesn't matter. What we're talking about is that everyone kind of underestimated the industrial strength of the United States. Everyone was like, oh, the U.S. doesn't want to get involved in the war. Okay, whatever. Just like in World War II, they came in late, whatever. They're all about not getting involved in wars, whatever. But at least they're giving out aid. It's something. When they got involved in this, that's as soon as this happened and occurred, and they went back home like, hey, it was a complete success. Congratulations. Like the big wigs, the big leaders are like, no, I think we messed up. We have awakened a sleeping giant, and we really pissed that giant off, because we didn't get everything out there that we could have. We've already lost the what do they call that? We've already lost the not the preemptive strike. We already lost the element of surprise. If we keep going, like, we're gonna lose out on our logistics. We're gonna lose out on our stuff just to keep going. That's not the kind of military strength that we have, because they really didn't have a whole lot. Their tactics was really to go in, hit them, not quite like Germany, where they were like, hit them hard, hit them fast, but Japan was like, it's all about preemptive strikes. We got to hit them, but like be very tact about it. Some of the best military leaders that they had, whether it was the Army and Navy, but they were really good at what they were doing with what they have, and they didn't have a whole lot. And they found out after this, oh shit, the United States industrial strength is fucking amazing. Because in a short amount of time, we built up more ships. In a short amount of time, we got a lot of people to sign up to be Air Force. Well, I mean, Air Force wasn't in at this time. It was Army Air Corps, the Army, the Navy, the Marines. We got a lot of people to sign up because it was this that got the United States involved into actual war. And then we started sending people to. I mean, we had some people from the Africa campaign pushing on up in Europe. Wasn't a whole lot, but it was like, all right, now definitely we're getting involved from this point forward, December 7th, 1941. We are all in on this. And that's what went down with between the United States and Japan. This is what brought us in, was this right here. I do remember there was a game that I played. Of course, when I say game, I don't mean like a video game. It was at Kansas State University. It was in one of my history classes. We played a game. It wasn't quite a tabletop board game. It was one of those theoretical games that you play. Like, hey, everyone, let's all right, here's a game. You're gonna pick sides or pick the team, or I'm gonna pick the teams for you, and you got to work together to do. It was like a team building. It wasn't really a team building exercise, but it was like a team building game for a history class. And the game was this. It was like, all right, this is World War II. And you're on this team. You're on this team, and you're on this team, so forth, right? So the team was the class was split, and I was on Japan's team. You know, it's like, hey, here's the start of the war. We are 1930 something or 40 something. Doesn't matter. Like, hey, here's the start of World War II. Your objective is to get the most amount of points that you can. Each team, so if you're Japan, USA, Russia, Germany, each team has pros and each team has cons. For Japan, my team, a pro was at the very beginning of this game. We had the most economic point structure. The way they worded it and called it was like, basically, you guys will start off with 11 resources or something like that, and you will get that every turn. You will get 11 resources per turn. However, one of your cons is that 11 resources is going to drop. It's going to drop and it's going to dwindle down to nothing every time a turn goes by. So, although Japan at the very start of this game had like the most amount of resources out of any country out there, we were losing resources over time unless we can figure out how to win the game as Japan against the other nations. So we start off with 11 resources, for example, and let's say you were on Team USA, and some of you, let's say some of my viewers, right? Some of you guys listening, watching this video at this point, this game that we're talking about. Let's say some of you were USA, some of you were Russia, some of you were Germany, so on, right? Whatever other countries are involved. Because I think there were other countries as well. I just don't remember who they were. For this game, you know, obviously for World War II is a little different story. Just about everybody was involved because it is World War. But let's just say when the turn goes by, everyone's done with their turns. Like, is everyone done? Everyone wants to do whatever they want to do? Okay, turn 2. Japan, you're now getting 10 resources or 9 resources. What are you going to do next? That's basically what's going to happen. So if you're on Team Japan, you're like, oh, cool, day 1, I got 11 resources, and everyone else is like at 5 or 7 or whatever. I'm top dog at the very top. All of a sudden, by like turn 3 or 4, you were like, oh shit, I'm starting to be on par with everyone else, if not like I'm less than everyone else. So your job as Japan is figuring out how can I get resources And how can I win this? Because as days go on, my own natural resources that I'm getting per day is diminishing. The only way in this game that I can get resources is I have to, on this map, where there was a map given to us. It was on the board, by the way. If you go to certain locations and engage, you can gain those resources. However, if another country like USA or Russia, Germany comes in or whatever, and they want to challenge you for that, it's going to then depend on the actual battle that you do on that resource, like whatever you have that can engage and win that battle. So it's almost like a game of Risk, a game of Life mixed together, kind of like almost a little mix of Monopoly involved. It was something like that. So if you're on Team Japan, it was a race against time, because if you don't make the right moves by like turn 2, but definitely by like 5, you were going to lose the game. If you're Team Japan, you might as well accept that you're going to lose. This game that we played, it went for, God, how long did it go? This game that we played, it went for like 21 turns, I believe. By that point, Japan, we didn't have any more natural resources, because essentially we went through our resources. Much like in reality, for World War II, Japan, they freaked the fuck out when USA was like, hey, you're not getting any more resources from us. And then Japan's like, fuck, what are we going to do now? Well, they had to go and conquer islands and get resources, much like what they did in reality is what we did in the game. The game that we played, we were like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? You know, like hey guys, let's try and change history. I know history had Japan hold out until the very end, but let's see if we could try and win as Japan. And everybody was like, oh, that sounds pretty neat, but how are we gonna do this? We gotta play our cards right. We gotta move correctly. We have to capture certain locations that are gonna net us whatever points, and we gotta build up our military as best as we can. So everybody was like, all right, that sounds great. And we ended up losing. We were one of the last 3 countries, I think, but we ended up losing at the end, because we just didn't have enough resources, and anywhere we moved, we were definitely going into a battle that caused us to lose resources, and we just couldn't replenish ourselves very well. USA came in, and they started off at, I think, 5 or 7 resources, but by the end of the game, they were like at 20 or 30 resources because of the industrial strength. And one of their pros was every day that goes by, you gain 2 to 3 resources or something like that. I don't remember. They gain resources. Every day that goes by, they gain resources. So they were gonna make their resources, and not only that, any location or land that they conquered, they gained those resources as well. I forgot what their cons were. Russia, I don't think they started off with great resources, but they had a whole lot of land that they had to watch out for too. That they were like, great, we can lose this. China was another one. China was split in 2 because you had what ended up becoming Taiwan, and then you had the other guys. So there was communists, China, and then there was the True Republic for China. I don't know. Anyway, so let's just jump back into the game. I love history. I just wish I could explain it better to you guys, but hope you guys enjoyed that little bit right there. But let's continue this game.
This is Nevada calling any ships available. We are attempting to sortie seaward. We need an escort. I say again, we need an escort. That's us! I've got valves bearing down on them.
good long look. Hope none of you ever see a day like this again. Or nobody will ever know what it was like. But maybe the ones that lived through it. You just be damn sure you don't forget the ones who didn't.
Aw, man. We didn't get all the bonus objectives. Ugh. That sucks.
December 7th, 1941, 10 in the morning. The United States suffers one of history's most devastating surprise attacks. With 2,403 dead and her once invincible navy decimated, America is forced to join the conflict already raging in Europe and Asia.
Yep, see?
Prior to Pearl Harbor, the Japanese war machine had swept across China, cutting off American aid, and then pressed on into Burma with limited resistance.
Yeah, that
At
was
home,
the India,
Japan was building
Burma,
up a
China
seemingly
campaign.
superior naval fleet, led by some of the world's largest aircraft carriers. But Admiral Yamamoto's prediction had come true. The aftermath of the Day of Infamy had indeed awakened the sleeping giant that was America. As the Emperor's armies march toward the Philippines, the United States takes action.
Yep. Let's go ahead and save. Fall of the Philippines. And as you can see in Medal of Honor Rising Sun, we moved away from Lieutenant Patterson and his OSI secret ops stuff that he was doing. Then now we're playing as Oh, yeah, here we go. Check this out. Okay, so just like in the last game, Medal of Honor Frontline, where I was talking about the Thompson, let's go ahead and talk about this Thompson. So, this Thompson is different from the one in Medal of Honor Frontline and Medal of Honor, or the first Medal of Honor. I don't remember if it was in Medal of Honor Underground, but take a look at this Thompson and remember the one that was in Medal of Honor Frontline. So, this Thompson, if you can look, let me see if I can get better color. Oh shit, I'm on fire. Wait, I hear a plane. No? Okay. Alright, let's take a look at this Thompson. So, this Thompson, I think we have better lighting right here. Alright, so this Thompson, right there at the end, it looks like it has a cuts compensator. And you can see right there, towards the back of the barrel, it has the little ribs or whatever, the little lines right there. There's that increased surface area to allow for cooling. So the Thompson in the other game had that, but what the Thompson on the other game didn't have, that this one looks like it has, is that cuts compensator. The only way I'm saying that it looks like a cuts compensator, because like my Thompson that I have over here, which looks like this Thompson, except that my Thompson, my personally owned Thompson that I have in my room right now, it has a 16-inch barrel. This one still looks like it has the 10-inch barrel. Is that muzzle at the end you can see at the bottom end of that muzzle brake there, it looks like there's a darker spot, right? That's actually the little cuts that they have into the compensator there. So that's why I'm saying that this has a cuts compensator, which my Thompson, if I hold it, it has the same deal. So I know you guys can't see what I'm talking about, but you can at least try and deduce what I'm talking about and hear me out. So I'm right now holding my Thompson. Now the only difference with the cuts compensator that I have on my Thompson versus the one on this game right here is the cuts on mine. Again, I'm calling it cuts, and it's probably not the correct way of calling it that. Mine has it at the top. Mine has it up at the top. This game has it on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my Thompson back here. again, at some point in the future, I'll plan on doing a gun review and showing you what my guns look like, and have fun and shoot at the range and all that. I can do that, or if you guys want, I can do a at home gun review. Get a GoPro setup, or maybe even my phone. Probably wouldn't be the best quality, but I can do that for you guys if you want. I get to show you my Thompson. I get to show you my M1014 shotgun, my 1911. You name it, I could do that for you. But anyways, let's talk about this Thompson again. Now here's the other thing. Right there, you can see the difference from the last game to this game is right there at the top. This Thompson, unlike the Thompson in Medal of Honor Frontline, the Thompson in Medal of Honor Frontline was the M1A1 Thompson. This one is not. This one has that top charging handle, and this one also has that rear sight adjustment elevation. You see that, right? That wasn't in Medal of Honor Frontline. That wasn't in Medal of Honor. This one has that top charging handle, and it also has those sights. I believe the Thompson that they're showing in this game is the 1927 Alpha 1 model, which is like my model, except mine's the Commando version, and mine is the semi-automatic carbine, which this actually is the 1927 Alpha 1 probably Thompson submachine gun. So there's a difference. But again, it's still Thompson Auto Ordnance, manufactured by Colt or whatever. And again, mine as well is the Thompson Auto Ordnance Model 1927 Alpha 1 semi-automatic carbine. So, yeah. Anyways. Go ahead and switch. There's our 1911. It looks about right. This one's the GI model, I believe. And I'm only saying that because of the sights, the rear sight and the front sight on that one. Mine's not that GI. Again, mine's the model Ronin, which the front sight is just front sight. The rear sights, actually no, the front sight on mine is has a little green or a little red fiber optic, and then the rear one has like two standard rear sights. They're not quite adjustable. They're more like friction adjustable, something like that. I don't know. Like you would have to get a gunsmith to fix the rear ones that I have. It can be done, and you can do it on your own, but it's probably better if you have a gunsmith to do it. But yeah. And then what else do we have? M1 Garand. Okay, cool. We have an M1 Garand, and I don't know much about the Garand. And yeah. Terrible way to do a attack.
Over here!
And also, this one has the 20-round magazine, which I wasn't able to tell if...
Joseph, is that you? Man, it's good to see you. You made it up to California. I can't believe it. We got resources. We got overrun by the enemy and lost the truck with all our demolition. We need the demolitions on that truck to blow this.
Now, I will say the recoil on this gun is probably more accurate to what the Thompson was back then, because again, the Marine Corps Navy adjusted the firepower because they found that the original model was too damn fast. Like soldiers, like service members were going through rounds like crazy, so they had to adjust it, and it was still a lot. Now, an issue I'm seeing here is that this is a 30-round magazine, and they only give us 20 rounds to shoot. I'm saying it's a 30-round magazine because the stick mag you see right there, it's looking like it sticks out far below than the hand grip. My Thompson has a 20-round magazine. That 20-round magazine is almost flush flush with the hand, not the handguard, but the hand, god damn it, what's the name for it? Where you hold the damn thing, the pistol grip. There we go. That's just one way to call it, the pistol grip. So yeah, it's almost flush with that. This right here looks like it's a 30 round magazine, but it only gives us 20 to shoot. So.
Bridge.
Now you just hang fire for a minute. I'll be giving the order. Let's clear this area out so we can get to that tank.
Yeah, that's definitely a 30 round magazine. They only gave us. Now there are benefits to that if you have a 30 round magazine and you only want to shoot 20 out of it, so you load 20 into a 30 round magazine. There are benefits. If the gun itself has an issue with feeding, and a lot of your rounds tend to get stuck or jammed or whatever, putting less rounds into a magazine will help the spring tension. So there is that, but you also, the con to that, you risk not having a whole lot of ammo that you could shoot. Alright, that's here, catch this. Oh, there's somebody up here? Yeah, there's somebody up here. Fuck out of here. You're still alive? Let me see if I can show you guys something. So we do this and right there. I don't know if you just caught that, but in order to get the magazine out, if you had quick eyes, or if you want to roll back on the video, our character, his thumb hit that thumb release for the magazine. The thing is, to get the magazine back in, you also have to hit that thumb release to get it back in. It's almost like the 1911. The 1911 handgun, the magazine, in order for it to go seated all the way and have it in battery, the magazine release in the handgun well, you have to push it to allow the magazine to go up all the way and then seat itself, and then it'll be in battery, right? This gun is similar. That little weird hook you see right there, you have to hit that to release the magazine, and then you have to hit it to insert the magazine. It's not just going to slide in. It's not going to just slide in like probably a Glock. I don't own a Glock, but a better example would be an M9 Beretta. An M9 Beretta 92 FS is not going to slide in, and it's not going to slide in like easy. You have to actually hit that also to bring it in, right? For the magazine to be fed and accepted into the handgun. So you saw that it did it automatically, though. Right there, you saw how it moved itself up. No, that's not how that works. You can force it, and you'll probably maybe wear and tear, if not break something. but the Thompson that I have, you have to actually release it to put it in and release it to put it out. Let's take a look at this tank right here. This looks like an M3 or M5 Stuart. It's a light tank, very lightly armored. If you've played World of Tanks, you'll know what I'm talking about. I believe the United States lend-leased M3 Stuarts to Russia, and they probably used some. If not, they were lost at sea. Much like the United Kingdom, they lend-leased Churchill 3 tanks as well as Valentine tanks, and I think a lot of them were lost at sea. Hell, I think they even lend-leased Matilda tanks, and some of those were lost at sea. But yeah, this I couldn't tell you exactly. This is either excuse me. This is either the M3 or the M5 Stuart. I want to say this is the M3 Stuart because the M5 had a lot more of these fucking guns. I think they had guns in the rear. They had guns in the front. I mean, like, it was almost like a joke about the U.S. with their tanks. They wanted to stick these freaking coaxial guns all over the place. So you had a main gun, and then you had coaxial guns all over the fucking place. So I want to say this is a 3. This is M3 Stuart. The M5 would have like a coaxial gun right there. Would have coaxial guns there. Would have a coaxial gun there. Maybe 2, and then they had some in the rear. Of course, I call them coaxial guns. You could call them whatever else they really are called. I just know I call them coaxial guns. What's back here? Is there a secret back here? Yeah, there is. I'll take that, and what the hell is this shit? And looks like the good thing is, in this game, a few, if not a couple of rounds of the 45 will actually drop an individual, whereas in front line, it took like a bunch of rounds of the 45 to get rid of them. What do we got here? Yeah, I'll take that. Thompson ammo, hell yeah. Alright, so we need to find the tank cogwheel, huh? Okay. Let's go upstairs real quick. It's been a very long time since I played this game, so bear with me. Ow. Such a nerd. That. You son of a bitch. Now, me personally, if I had a fully automatic Thompson, I would probably prefer a very slow fire rate so I can control my shots with recoil, which would then induce a better accuracy because it's on the user for accuracy. The gun itself, the only way you can affect accuracy really is the length of the barrel, so to speak. I mean, increased barrel is going to give you further range because you have more of the firepower of the bullet pushed through that increases your muzzle velocity, and that'll give you range. But for accuracy, that is all wholeheartedly on the user. But if you really think about it, a longer barrel is going to help with that accuracy. I mean, picture, if you will, this gun, the barrel cut in half. Do you think you're going to have better accuracy? No, you're not. Of course, too long of a barrel is just going to be ridiculous. Hey, there it is.
Screen us on the ground. Chaps have been using pole mines, and there's no way we can make it through these streets without a dismounted man. Now, this tank is on its last legs, so you stay close. Keep us clear on the flanks and to the rear.
Yeah, I don't know if in reality this tank would be able to do that. Break through a tank barrier, if you will. I don't think this tank of all tanks is going to do that.
Get in there! Take that position! Consolidate against counterattack! Counterattack right away!
Run at the tank with the stick. Got him.
Escape, damn it! Nail that SOB!
Damn, dude, what the hell is your fucking problem?
Enemy in sight! They're running! They're on the retreat! Take 'em out! Come on, get it! Got me more of 'em! They're running! They're on the retreat! Come on, get it! Ripping these air attacks and chewing us up. Now, they've got a spotter and an observation post somewhere. Probably up high in one of those buildings. They'll have a radio relay station nearby. If Find a boat and knock them out. We'll hold here. Got a lot riding on you, Marine. Don't let us down.
Okay, so there's one of Japan's tanks that they use. I don't remember the name of that specific tank. Could be the Chi-Ro. Usually Japan had like a name like that for a lot of their tanks, was like something like that. You can look it up online. I don't really. Woo! They weren't really well armed, weak armor. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, they weren't very well armed. It can get you around, and these things held maybe 2 or 3 people. It can get you around, and it would protect you from, like, machine gun fire. Not heavy machine gun fire, but they weren't very well armed. Probably armed with, like, a 37mm gun and whatever that coaxial gun was. Let me go back and grab that medical kit we had up there. Which would win in a battle between this tank and that tank? I would say this one right here. I mean, this tank is big, so it's going to be easy to spot. But I believe this tank was also armed with a 37mm, but it also had guns on all over the side there. You saw it had like 2 at the top, 1 on the bottom, 1 next on the turret. I think this tank had just a little bit more armor, but I think both guns can actually penetrate and damage each other. I would probably put my money on the tank for being a little bit better, had a better engine, better transmission, so you'd have the maneuverability. And also, if we're talking like tank crews, the American tank crew would be a lot better than the Japanese tank crew. Because I think I think history-wise, Japan didn't really put too much into their ground forces and their tanks especially, so they didn't really have much for a tank force out there, you know. Oh, shit. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a bonus to let that one soldier who was going to run the bases, if you were supposed to let him hit home run. I don't know if that was supposed to be a thing. But I do know that guy that you saw that I shot over here, I think he started over here and then he like started running and then he stopped there and then he was going to run over there and he was going to run here. He was going to do he was going to run base basically. I don't know if it was a bonus to let him do that or not. bonus objective 2. Uh-oh. Where was bonus objective 1? Objectives in this game, like, it's definitely not like in Frontline or Medal of Honor, or the first Medal of Honor. There really wasn't bonus objectives then. It's just complete the objectives that you have, and that was pretty much it. But I think in this game they started introducing these bonus objectives, and it's like now you got to go, you got to really explore and do all these other things.
Corporal, you find some way to signal the demo team. I'll check out this truck. Private, you keep your eyes peeled for jacks.
And of course, you have these saves in the game now. You can actually save whenever. Well, not really whenever, but whenever you find these saves, which wasn't in the original. You'd only save after the mission, after the level was complete, or in between missions, rather. But it's trying to find all these bonuses that's going to make it difficult. I am not going to get a good bonus run here. I'm not going to get the gold stars is what I should have said, meant to say. It's just not going to happen. happen. I already missed and messed up.
You get in the back of this truck and shoot anything that moves. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Give you plenty enough ammo and health items to help with the mission. Oh boy.
Hold on!
Keep going! Watch out on the way!
You make sure you and that tank reach the bridge before we light it up. Griffin. At ease, lad. Listen, son, I'm sorry about your brother. We got a damn tough job done, and most of us made it out alive. He was a good Marine. You can't ask for more than that.
Hits taken, bonus objective. Yeah.
With American armed forces now fully engaged in war, Japanese-occupied South Pacific Islands are feeling the pressure. But hopes are crushed for a swift Allied victory in the Philippines. After a long, bloody battle, General MacArthur is ordered to retreat. Thousands of troops are left behind and forced to surrender. The enemy now controls the Philippines. MacArthur vows to return. In a bold offensive move, the United States prepares to land 10,000 troops on Guadalcanal, a relatively unknown island, where a strategic airfield is under construction by Japanese forces.
Yeah, that is MacArthur's famous words of his, I shall return. It was definitely, and he did. And he did. As for the troops that did get left behind, they called it the Bataan Death March or something like that. That guy looks German.
Listen up, Marines. The mission is to soften up the enemy before the main assault at dawn. We land across the beach, proceed to the airfield, destroy an ammo dump, eliminate any remaining resistance, sit tight till our relief arrives. Any questions?
How deep do you think this water is? What's the matter? Can't you swim? Shut up, Davis. Shut up.
Hand the chatter back there.
Cover those banks! Get to fire out there!
Oh yeah, by the way, we are playing Marines, so...
Watch out! There'll be more of them!
This is the first game, the introduction is playing as Marines, the Medal of Honor game.
Can't this tub go any faster?
Keep alert, Marines.
$12
Here they come!
Japs out there, I can't see them.
I can barely see the front of the raft.
Get ready, here they come!
Stand by! There's more where they came from! Davis is hit! Adams, grab him! Pull him in!
There's something in the water.
No! Davis! Pull him on now! We lost him! Keep your eyes open!
Second squad's already on the beach. Move out, Marine. Let's go. Griffin, this way. Follow me. It's on main right here.
Enemy dead ahead!
You're on point.
Enemy dead ahead! There'll be more of them!
Okay, yeah, we circled about. All right.
I'll cover you!
Stand by, there'll be more of them!
Vehicle. We'll do a hasty ambush here. Get him!
This one's for Carl! Jack! To the rear! 6 o'clock! Get out!
Secure the vehicle.
inside this!
Y'all let him stab me? You motherfuckers.
Take him out! Take him out! Enemy, get it! Get out! わないぞ。正しく出てこいよ。
It's gonna have to be one hell of a cleaning and service done after every mission. You see how many people I'm like just getting with, destroying with this gun? Shit. I thought it was a bad guy. I was like, running out of ammo here. Got a little more than 3. Well, no. I take that back.
Enemy inside!
Alright, now it's a little more. Just a little. Well, it's extra rather, so like right now it'd be like 4, one more 4, yeah, it'd be like 28 rounds total, but it's 7 and 3, and yeah, just a handful, but I need more ammo is the point that I'm getting at here, because I really do love this gun. I need more pistol mags. Oh, we're back here. Oh, okay. Destroy the ammo depot. What the fuck is the ammo depot? Kind of annoyed that my teammates, they suck. This dude's got a shotgun and he's not using it effectively.
Decoy!
Watch out! There'll be more of them!
I have to go back into the jungle, or is there an exit over here that I just wasn't paying attention to? Might have to go back into the jungle. Unless I was supposed to destroy that that tank, but I don't think I can with any of the weapons. I mean, I have my grenades, but I don't know about that. I mean, I could try throwing grenades at that tank, but I don't know if it's going to do anything. I mean, it could destroy the tank. We've seen it do that. It's just... I don't know. We picked up ammo for a gun, too, and I don't know what that gun is. Is it like T11 or some bullshit? Try the grenade and see what happens. Oh shit. stumped. Shotgun of his sounds weak as fuck. barracks. Clear out the barracks. The exit to the ammo depot is on the first floor. Is this not the first floor? Or would this be considered ground floor and then this is first floor? I've never heard it all that way Okay, oh, okay, so...
Get on an act gun, Marine! Take out that depot!
You guys can get the fuck out of here with that shit. All right, so
Well
we
done,
didn't get
Griffin.
all the
Now we got this
document
airfield
intel.
secured, we can get a foothold on this island and start pushing the Japanese back. We're through retreating, lad. America's back in this war.
And somehow I have a shotgun in my hand. Is that a bronze star or a gold star? I want to say it's a bronze, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
When John Adams formed the Marines in 1775, an entirely new method of warfare was born. Unlike armies that marched cross-country to battle, the Marines were amphibious, launching their attacks with shore landings. In the decade before World War II, the Marines began to truly develop their style of combat. This preparation paid huge dividends in the early days following America's entry into the war. Guadalcanal was taken and secured with almost no loss. However, swift Japanese counterattacks led to a tough and costly campaign to hold the island. Despite the brutal climate and high number of enemy troops, the Marines, aided by U.S. soldiers and local inhabitants, were finally victorious. Later in the war, the Marines and their unique battle tactics would prove invaluable.
Pistol Pete showdown.
I don't imagine any of us got much sleep, so I'll spare the small talk. This is the situation. We managed to take the airfield, but we haven't pushed the Japanese off the island yet. Still delaying our repair crews with artillery from the west, and they hit us hard last night, as you can tell. Headquarters is calling that artillery position Pistol Pete. We can't use this airfield with Artie firing at us all day and all night. I want that damn Pistol Pete taken out. Raider patrols say there's a Scot and some coast watchers in the area. Been on the island since the start of the war. Keep an eye out for them. They could be of some help. Brooks and Thomason are your squad. Take care of them, Corporal. You shut down that artillery no matter what it takes.
All right, we'll go ahead and stop the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, with my history information I'm giving you guys, don't take it for face value. I would say it's definitely more than 50% solution of accuracy. I would say like 75 to 80%. I do have all my books. I still kept all my information, all my books, and I would say I'm fairly accurate with the information that I'm giving. I encourage you to go and look out for this information. This is this game, just like the other games, are all history related. I do love history. This is World War II. Look it up. Look what got the U.S. into the war, what happened to Japan, what Japan was doing prior to December 7th, and what had occurred and what was happening after. Because that was really the thing. The Japanese really wasn't going to do anything towards us until we cut off the supplies to them, particularly the oil. And then once they were like, well, if we can't negotiate a deal to get that oil, that's it. We're going at it with the U.S. And like I said in the video there, like, it was a sleeping giant. And if they didn't hit hard enough, devastating enough, then they knew they were kind of screwed. And they were doing what they can to get a foothold everywhere they can to make it very, very difficult for the U.S. to get involved. I mean, because at that point, then it's a war of attrition, but it was one that they were going to lose because they knew that they can't sustain that. The only thing that they could hope for is that they hit us hard enough every time we tried to progress forward that it stopped us. And I mean, like a lot of people said, the Japanese at this time frame, they were really great at jungle warfare. Like, that was their thing. And we were jumping in trying to figure out, like, hey, how do we find these guys? What do we do here? And something similar happened in Vietnam. It was like, damn, man, this is their turf. It's jungle warfare. We thought we had something from World War II moving forward, and it's like, no, that's just not our niche right there. You know, it was a thing for the Japanese. They were great at it. The U.S., we're just great at adapting to whatever is given out there, and then we progress with that. You know, we definitely have. Well, the thing that we have on our side is the industrial infrastructure. We have the we have the supplies. Logistics is one issue, but if you can overcome logistics, then you can support your supply line. You can push forward and go anywhere. And that was the big thing about the U.S. I mean, when you go to the European theater, what Patton was going through, he was essentially pushing all his troops as fast as he could, their tanks and everything, and it ended up being that he was outrunning the supply line, you know. Of course, I think Patton at the time was trying to beat Montgomery to the punch against Germany on the European theater. Over here on the Pacific theater, you had MacArthur, and MacArthur had gotten pushed back, and he gave that famous line, that famous speech of his, and at the end he was like, "I shall return," you know, and he sure as hell did. But yeah, I mean, like at this point, we were fighting. At this point, the United States was fighting the Japanese basically on their turf, and we're like, man, we've never done jungle warfare, and it was a very costly, hard battle, but we were able to overcome that because we definitely had more troops, and we would keep getting more troops signing up to do this job. We had the infrastructure to help supply with ammo, fuel, you name it. Like, we had all that for us, and that's what helped us. Almost in a sense, when you look at the Civil War too, the North and the South, right? The North, I don't believe the North had the numbers just yet, but for sure the North had that infrastructure that helped with supplies, that helped with equipment, that helped with all that stuff. And I believe the South, I think the South had more people than the North, I want to say. If they didn't, for sure the South had more great leaders than the North. The North didn't really have too many competent leaders. The South, I mean, for sure, you had Robert E. Lee, but then there were others. I mean, you had Stonewall Jackson, you had a whole bunch of other people. And the North, it took a while, but eventually they ended up having somebody like Ulysses S. Grant. The nickname for him too during the Civil War was U.S. Grant, Unconditional Surrender Grant, you know, and that was his thing. He didn't go for that unconditional, so he just pushed right on through and made sure he won. And then of course you had Sherman and his march to the sea, man. He really struck fear in the South. If you ask anybody from the South, you tell them something about Sherman, everyone's going to get pissed at you. If you're from the North and you talk about Sherman, everyone from the South's like, oh, fuck you, and mentioning that name around here because he really did burn all the way through down the Georgia to the sea, man. He did what he had to really, you know, demoralize the South. It was a tactic, and it worked, you know. The South had a lot of great, amazing leaders, though, and Robert E. Lee was one of them. But it's that understanding of that infrastructure, like what can help your side, because the South, yeah, they I think at the beginning they had the numbers, and they definitely had the leadership that can help whatever numbers they did have, but they didn't really have the infrastructure at the time. I mean, the South, compared to the North, the North had that industrial thing. The South, all they had was just plantations. It really didn't help out what they were doing. They really didn't have supplies. They really didn't have uniforms at most times. Before long, the North was like, yep, we can supply the uniforms, the boots, the personnel, the weapons, you know, and the South was like, shit, you know. And then here in World War II, the same deal. I mean, it's what happened to the Japanese. They had something at the beginning, but then it started dwindling down, and especially once the United States started building that steam started building up, and we started pushing forward. It was like, well, that's it. Like, good game, basically. GG, good game. I mean, you look at the European theater too with Germany. They made the mistake of fighting on multiple fronts, and a lot of people are like, let's maybe not fight on a multiple fronts. But then some of the officers, the high-ranking officers in Germany, are like, oh, we could do this. We're Germans. You know, like we got this, and it's like, well, all right, let's see what happens. Didn't turn out so well for them, and of course they started losing out on their infrastructure. Now they had something at the beginning in the European theater. They had something for their infrastructure. I mean, they were making amazing equipment, like their tanks, the Panzer tanks that they ended up building, and then the Panther tanks and the Tiger tanks. They got into some stuff better than us. Like, they had quality stuff, too. The problem with that quality, it was fucking expensive. And it took a while to create a Tiger tank versus a Sherman tank. A Sherman tank in the United States probably took a few months to put together and then send 4 out at a time, where the Germans were building Tiger tanks at like maybe 6 to 9 months, and it took like 1 at a time. It's an example. It's not an exact logistical fact that I'm giving you. It's an example. What took them for a Tiger tank would take us like whatever amount, you know. They did have a handful of Tiger tanks. They did have a handful of Panther tanks. They had a shit ton of Panzer tanks, you know. The Panzer 3, 4, 3 Alpha. They had a bunch of them, all right. But they were developing. It was somebody who was crazy into development, was like, yo, let's build this. This is the next big thing. Yo, let's build this. This is the next big thing. I mean, for the Tiger tank, there was 2 versions. I think there was 2 or 3 versions of the Tiger tank. One was made by Porsche. The other one was made by who was it? Herstal or something like that. I don't know. And then there was like a 3rd version of the Tiger tank that was somebody else. There's 3 different companies competing, and then Germany went with one. But they came close. They came close to having one from another company, Maybach or something. I don't know. You can look it up. You can look up the history of it, but it was pretty interesting. But the point was, like, these vehicles are like big and expensive. That was the thing about Germany. Let's make this unnecessarily big and complex thing, but it's gonna work. And it was like, oh shit, yeah, this is amazing, and it's a ton of armor right here. But they couldn't make too many of them. But the ones they could make could definitely mess up, could definitely damage and destroy whatever the United States have. And all we had at the time was just Sherman tanks, and then modified different versions of the Sherman tanks. Now there were other tanks out there that we got into. I mean, if you look into the game, if you look into World of Tanks, you know, you can look and see all the other tanks that we had in the arsenal. But when you think of like United States, World War II, and tanks, you immediately in your head envision a Sherman tank. That was like our thing, and you would probably even think of the Easy 8, Sherman. But when you think of Germany and you think of tanks, immediately in your head you're gonna think Tiger tank. Another tank you would think of, if you were thinking of the Tiger tank, was probably a Panther tank. Because those are like the big iconic ones. And then if there were any other tanks you were thinking of, is probably those little Panzer ones, the Panzer 3, 4, 3 Alpha, whatever the hell. A bunch of those. There was the Lux too. There was another one. There were other tanks that kind of got out there. I'm not sure if the Loewe or the Lowe was out there. Then of course in World of Tanks there was the Maus, right? There was the Maus. There was the Maulbrecher. That was another one. VK 168.1 or something like that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I mean, and of course Russia, their T-34 tanks. Everybody knows that. The KV-1s, KV-2s. You know, you had your IS tanks, IS-2s. There was a whole line of these. That the IS-3 and 3 Alphas. There was another one right there that everyone pictures of tanks. You know, but and of course the KV-5. You can't forget about that. There's a whole shit ton of KV-4, KV-5. There's a whole shit ton of the KV lines and the IS line of tanks. But yeah. Anyways, we'll stop here. It's saved, so when we jump back in, it's probably going to jump at the beginning of this level, Pistol Pete. And yeah, I'm already going to tell you guys right now, I'm not going to get gold stars across the board for this game. This was a change in pace from Frontline. You could definitely tell Medal of Honor Underground, Medal of Honor Frontline, they were somewhat in line with how the gameplay went, how the objectives went, how everything else went. As soon as this game hit, things changed. Now, there are other games. I believe there were other games in between Medal of Honor Underground, Frontline, and all that, and then to this game. But these were the ones that I played, was Medal of Honor Frontline, Rising Sun. Those are the three that I played. I did do Medal of Honor Underground on my channel. I don't believe I've completed the game. Maybe I have, I'm not sure. But I've never owned the game. I played it at friend's house, and they owned it. You know, they were like, oh, man, I got stuck on this level. And I was like, shit, I beat the first game. I'll beat this one. They're like, really? And I was like, yeah. This was definitely a big change. You got bonus objectives. You got camera reels or whatever. You got those reels you got to pick up. You got all these extra bonus things that you got to find. You got to go out of your way to find these things. Now, me, I do a great job to go diving in dungeons and search every nook and every cranny out there to find whatever items. I mean, you guys have seen my Let's Play of Morrowind Elder Scrolls 3. I will search around for some shit. You guys have seen my Let's Play of what I've been working on so far for, what's that game? Daggerfall Unity. I am going through the dungeons. I am checking every which place that I can, within reason, of course. But a lot of these maps, a lot of these locations, they take you off the beaten path and take you far, and then it's like, damn, do I want to go down this way because my health is this, and I've taken too many hits, and this, that. You know, there is forks in the road, ladies and gentlemen. This is not like this game in comparison to, like, you remember my Let's Play of Resident Evil Survivor? That was a pretty linear game. Sure, you got paths to choose from, but guess what? The paths all come back to one location, and you continue forward, and then the path splits in two or maybe in three, you know, but then it comes back into one. This game, yeah, eventually the path comes back, but there's like paths that in this game that lead off, and then they stop, and then you got to double back. And then try again moving this way. You know, some paths, they come back in this game, but other paths, you just go down the way and you're like, oh, there's a dead end. All right, let's come back. Sure, there's like ammo and health and all that, but imagine playing this game on a harder difficulty. Like, oh, man, good luck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. So I started this to show you guys, yep, Medal of Honor, Rising Sun. We're going to play through this, and I'll jump back into doing Pokemon Fire Red. And again, go ahead, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Go with the comments and let me know, hey, I would love to see original OG Pokemon Red. Hey, I would like to see Pokemon Heart Gold. You mentioned that. Yeah, let's watch that. I would love to watch that. What Pokemon are you going to pick? Hey, let's go with Pokemon Black or White or Black 2, White 2 or whatever. You know, let's do that. Just let me know, you know. Let me see, what other Let's Plays we're going to continue? There's Daggerfall Unity. I just got to get back in the groove of playing that. What other games were there? Let me see. I mean, there's a bunch. There's a bunch on the Let's Play. I just got to look back on my videos like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let me jump back into that and roll into it. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later.